Time. It's something we're all familiar with, yet it remains one of the most mysterious forces in the universe. We live our lives by the ticking of the clock, but what is time, really? In this video, we're going to explore the nature of time, how it shapes our existence, and some mind-bending facts that will change the way you think about it forever. Let's start with a simple question: what is time? On the surface, it seems obvious. Time is the progression of events from the past, through the present, into the future. But when we dig a little deeper, time becomes much more complicated. According to modern physics, time isn't a constant, and it's not the same for everyone. In fact, time can speed up, slow down, or even stop entirely depending on the circumstances. This leads us to one of the most famous concepts in science, Einstein's theory of relativity. According to this theory, time and space are intertwined in what's known as the space-time continuum. One of the key ideas of relativity is that time is relative. It can stretch and contract based on your speed and proximity to massive objects like planets or black holes. For instance, if you were to travel close to the speed of light, time would pass much slower for you than it does for someone on Earth. This phenomenon is called time dilation, and it's been proven through experiments with high-speed particles and precise atomic clocks. But here's where things get really strange. Time slows down near massive objects due to their gravitational pull. This is called gravitational time dilation. For example, astronauts aboard the International Space Station age slightly slower than people on Earth because they are farther from the planet's gravitational pull. This means that if you spent enough time near something as massive as a black hole, you could return to Earth and find that centuries had passed, even though only a few moments had passed for you. Speaking of black holes, they provide some of the most extreme examples of how time can behave. Near the event horizon of a black hole, the point where nothing, not even light, can escape, time slows down to the point where it almost stops. If you were to watch someone fall into a black hole, from your perspective, they would appear to freeze in time just before reaching the event horizon. But for the person falling in, time would continue normally, and they'd never notice the slowdown from their own point of view. This leads to the question, could we ever travel through time? The idea of time travel has fascinated humanity for centuries, but according to our current understanding of physics, it's far more complicated than just hopping into a machine and choosing a date. While time dilation could allow us to travel into the future, going backward in time poses a host of paradoxes and challenges. For example, the grandfather paradox asks, what would happen if you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother? If they never met, you wouldn't exist, so how could you go back in time in the first place? Even though backward time travel seems impossible, some scientists have speculated that wormholes, theoretical tunnels through space-time, could allow for shortcuts through time and space. However, the existence of wormholes is still purely hypothetical, and even if they did exist, the forces inside them might destroy anything that tried to pass through. But time isn't just a concept for physicists to debate, it has a profound impact on how we experience the world. Our perception of time is incredibly subjective. Think about the last time you were having fun. Time seemed to fly by, right? But when you're bored or anxious, time seems to drag on forever. This phenomenon is known as time perception, and it's influenced by everything from your emotions to the complexity of the tasks you're doing. Studies show that when we're deeply focused on something, our brains process more information, which makes time feel like it's passing more slowly. Then there's the question of how time shapes our memories. Our brains are wired to store experiences in relation to time, which is why we remember events in sequence, like a timeline. But memory is also incredibly flexible. When we recall an event, we aren't just replaying it like a video, we're reconstructing it. This means our sense of time in relation to memories can be warped. Have you ever had a childhood memory that seemed to stretch on forever, but when you think about it as an adult, you realize it must have happened in a matter of minutes? That's your brain playing tricks on how you remember time. Time also plays a fundamental role in our biology. All living things operate on what's known as circadian rhythms, which are natural cycles of sleep, wakefulness, and biological processes that follow roughly a 24-hour pattern. These rhythms are influenced by external cues like sunlight and temperature, and they help regulate everything from sleep to digestion. But when we mess with our circadian rhythms, like when we stay up late or travel across time zones, it can throw our bodies out of sync, leading to jet lag or other health issues. What about the future of time? As technology advances, we've become obsessed with finding ways to save time. Everything from high-speed internet to faster transportation is designed to help us get more done in less time. But despite these advancements, many people feel like they have less time than ever. The pace of modern life has increased so much that we often struggle to keep up. And with the rise of artificial intelligence and automation, we may soon face new questions about how we value time. What will we do when machines can work faster than we ever could? Finally, let's talk about the end of time, cosmologically speaking. Scientists believe that the universe has a finite amount of time left. As the universe continues to expand, stars will eventually burn out, galaxies will drift apart, and the universe will become cold and dark in what's called the heat death. In this scenario, all motion and energy will cease, and time, as we know it, may stop altogether. It's a mind-boggling thought, but one that reminds us of the incredible, yet fragile, nature of time itself. Time is everywhere, yet it's elusive. It controls our lives, our memories, and even the fate of the universe, yet we still don't fully understand it. Whether you're thinking about the seconds ticking by on your clock or the possibility of time travel, one thing is certain: time waits for no one.